SCCA's National Championship Runoffs has long been a launching pad to professional careers for some, an annual pilgrimage for many, and a bucket list event just to compete in for all. This weekend, it is also a test extraordinaire, as for the contenders, Sonoma Raceway awaits. And they go with an early green to try and let them get settled. And a beautiful launch by Skip Streets, but behind him, 3, 4, 5 cars wide, way wide as a matter of fact, as they set up for turn 1. Everybody here has to settle in. And one of the things about this class, there's an awful lot of experience.
A car, they like to give it a kind of a clever little name, and no two of these really look alike. Even if you buy one where the bodywork was provided by the same manufacturer, everybody tweaks them up to their own little designs.
A nice move there by the green number 19 of Scaler as he ducked underneath the 61 of Whiteside. That was for the 6th spot, but as you can see in these cars, you can over-under it so easily, and Scaler able to get the run out of that turn. But in that exchange, the 91, the black V of Sweeney, comes up and joins the mix. Is Andrew Whitson in the number 12. You can see no shields in that shot now after that spin. So next up is the green number 19 of Scaler. This for 15, 16 laps. The gloves will come off at the end when the battle, it is time for the battle. But what they're hoping, obviously, at that point, Andy, is that they built a big enough margin that when they start racing each other, they're not going to get run down by the folks that are chasing. And while we were in break, folks, the 5th place car, the number 77 of Shields, who had been having a very solid run in he shows him, like, look, I'm here, but then he just lets it float, doesn't try and get down the inside and slow him down. The number 19 of Scaler locked up big time heading into turn 7. I think Scaler right now, he's not interested in working with somebody.
This is a challenging part of the track down there through the S is 2B, doing that kind of attack. There's not a great passing zone in there. Let's see if he can get it done here as they come down into the turn 11.
Oh.
He takes that super tight line.
Well, he got Abbott to get in a little hot, and Abbott got all kinds of crossed up. Side by side, and when you go side by side up one, somebody eventually says, yeah, this isn't going to work, and smart move there by Abbott. Watch this. Look at all of these turns that you're apexing over a brow. It's a blind approach. The car gets super light. There's elevation changes here everywhere you look. Even here, you think, okay, I'm dropping down to the gear. Nope, I'm going up over this little rise before it drops. These cars are constantly putting huge amounts of pressure and stress on those suspensions with all these elevation changes.
Absolutely, and that's why, I mean, you can see them sliding around a little bit. The surface, I went down and checked that out earlier in the week, and the surface at this racetrack, all of the surface is very polished. It's very, very flat. Each of the stones inside the asphalt, very flat, and that's why these tires can't get any sort of mechanical grabbing onto them. So you're always sliding just a little bit, and you really want to stay under that slide if you can. Otherwise, you generate too much heat, and your tires are going to lose grip by adding, as we see exactly what I'm talking about right there. Like you said, you go over the crest, and the car lets go.
And now we come up to turn 10, which is truly one of the great corners. And these cars get, a little wiggle there by Scaler, and he had to hang on to it to save it. And that now has given a nice run to Abbott. Abbott tucks in, wasn't quite close enough. There's that lockup. You know, we see these little bits of smoke from these cars, but that's lockup coming from Scaler, and he's got a flat spot down there. Just let it float outside so he didn't disrupt them through the corner, and that time he said, look, we've got to go here, and he went down the inside. And the reason, I think, is because that green number 3 of, the number 19 of Scaler in third is what I was getting at here. He's making up some pretty serious ground.
He sure is. He sure is.
Streets heading into this next turn, turn 11, angle into the apex, you know, sort of protecting a little bit. Well, that tightens the radius up, that stresses the tires more. I wonder if he just used his tires up a little bit more than Veresen's in those laps when Veresen's was just running wide through the corners and letting him pull. Take a look at some times here, and best time of the lead 3 has been set by Alex Scaler at a 1:53.639, so that is a good lap. The others, not outside of it by much, but still out of it by 2 to 3 tenths, and that's why Scaler's been able to run the now running in that lead spot, chased by the number 19, who was put on a great charge from 7 to 2nd. Alex Scaler out of Flemington, New Jersey, in the Advantage Motorsports machine right there, that green machine. And the pole sitter, Skip Streets, in the number 51, a somewhat distant third right now after a moment in turn 11. And Scaler is not giving up, and I think he's seeing Veresen starting to get into some traffic.
Yeah, I know. 4 seconds in 4 laps. That's a lap. That's a second a lap, and that's going to be a real challenge. But if there's anything left in that tire, now is the time to do it.
Yeah. And I think he just didn't expect him there. Realized, oh, I've shut the door, and I think that's one of the guys that might be up front.
Yep.
Him down, and we wonder if Scaler maybe just didn't use up too much tire early in this race.
That's right. Streets, I mean, we know he's quick. He qualified at the pole. We know there's a lot more performance in the car. And he's got something to prove. I mean, even if he's not going to get that gold medal, he wants to get up there, at least get the silver medal. For sure, it looks like he's going to be on the podium, but you got nothing to lose at this point. So he is going to hammer hard onto Scaler, and hopefully the same thing happens to Scaler, which is that he gets pressured into making a mistake.
And let's watch. There's Veresons just out of frame. Here we go. Well, I'll tell you, Scaler gets through turn 10 exceptionally well. You saw going into turn 9, Skip was all over the back of the green number 19. Exit at 10, 3-4 car lengths. So Scaler is carrying some serious speed through one of the most treacherous corners, probably the most treacherous corner.
Killer. This? Wonderful.
Rounding that last turn, you pointed at the monitor and pointed, go inside, go inside. It's exactly what he did, and he darn near pulled it off. It was exceptional. Just didn't quite get it. But I'll tell you what, Hayward, the third place finisher, young Mr. Scaler, this kid's got a future.
Alex, I just got a little coaching. I was told to ask you, how many laps have you done at Sonoma Raceway prior to taking the green flag?
Between the test days, qualifying, it was about 18 laps.
So you did more laps in the race than you've done in your entire life here.
Absolutely.
Quite incredible. Talk to me about the third place finish. You look like you had a chance to reel in the leaders when Skip and Veresons were running together.
Yeah, we had a really good shot, and then we called lap traffic, and unfortunately I got inside of a car going through 3 and 3A, and all the gap that I closed in kind of went away, and it allowed Skip to catch up back behind me, and that's all I was able to do. So.
Well, you guys have talked in the booth a lot about the history of Formula Vee. The future looks pretty bright with this guy behind the wheel. Congratulations.
Thank you. Real quick, I would like to thank, first of all, my dad for everything he does to help me. I would like to thank the guys back home, Carl, Greg, Roger, and Dimitri. Dave Carr from Autoworks Engines gave us an awesome engine for this event. Jonathan Weishay for towing the car out here and giving me a carburetor to put on the car after we had problems in the last qualifying. Steve Pastor from V Sports Racing, Hoosier Racing Tire, and Jim Carney from Carney Driver Development.
And he did all of that with not nary a glance at the car. This kid does have a future when he moves it up here. Well, I'll tell you, it has been an absolutely fantastic run to the gold for Formula Vee. It always is. It always comes up with something, and they put on an absolutely spectacular show, Andy. They certainly did today.
They sure did. Super impressive drive all around for our podium contenders. You know, Veresons to hang on there, going back and forth, Streets to catch back up. What a drive there. Scaler to move from 7th on the grid all the way onto the podium. As Hayward said, what a great future for that young gentleman.